All right, my friends, it's T-Man. And again, we're back with another video on our good friend Jason Blaha, the gym, lifting, recruiting, fitness gear slave. We're going to do a reaction video to a video that he just popped up like right 36 seconds ago or something. So I'm going to review it because I just saw it. So, okay. So Blaha says, stop crying about your genetics and put in the work. Oh, put in the work. Stop crying about genetics. Genetics is is how you're born. That's your genetics. How tall you are, what you look like, blah, blah, blah. That's genetic. Building muscle, that's not genetic.
You cannot change your genetics. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would chat.
Look, getting good at doing sports, practicing at being good at skateboarding or biking or swimming or diving or, man, lifting weights heavy concentrically or building muscle eccentrically. This is, bro, it's that's not nothing to do with genetics. It's nothing to do with genetics. It's just practice.
Guys and gals, a little bit about this today. And one of these topics, you have people who they get up and they blame their genetics for things. They talk about genetics and what they need to understand. Okay, they need to understand, yes, there's going to be a tiny number of people.
They need to understand that they're adapted to their exercises and they're not getting any more adaptations because they're playing with the weights in the gym.
People who have really good genetics for certain structural things and muscle growth and everything else. Okay,
that's not true. I don't. What do you mean good genetics for muscle growth? How do muscles grow? Eccentrically, muscle damage. That's how they grow. They grow these things. They're called myofibrils, contractile proteins. Myofibrils, get it? These nuclei. The nuclei they repair. They remodel those muscle fibers. They create new ones. I don't know what Blaha's talking about, but whatever.
You'll understand this. You also need to understand that these people you're oftentimes looking at are outliers. They're statistically so rare that to even really compare yourself to them is ludicrous.
Yeah.
Okay? It's ludicrous.
It is. It's ludicrous to compare yourself to people that are injecting cosmetics in their butt called steroids. Creating a fake cosmetic look. Yes, Blaha.
Particularly once they go on drugs, the really genetically gifted people with their physique.
See, there you go. Oh, genetically gifted people. They go on drugs genetically. Let me explain something to you. If these people were genetically gifted, then they wouldn't have to go on fucking drugs. Okay, man? You understand me? They always show their before-after pictures. They were genetically dead until they took the drug. Hello? So they fake these genetics. They are injecting plant genetics from plants, and they're faking it. And then, they have to keep it up by injecting it all the time. It's costly, and it'll cost your health eventually in the end, too.
And stuff. Yeah, you're not going to look like them. And you don't have.
Yes, you are. You're going to look. If you inject what they did, steroids, then you too are going to look like them, if not probably better, depending. You know what I mean? If you're a better looking person and taller or whatever, you'll look better than them.
And that's what people forget. They get so hung up in that.
Look at Blaha. He's on steroids. He's the worst person I've ever seen on steroids in my entire life. I don't know anybody that took steroids and looked like this. Like, they just look less than second rate, bro. This is crazy. I'm 10 years older than Blaha, and I look better than him. What the hell? He looks like he's my father.
That they don't realize that there is no reason. You do not have to look like the guys who have pro cards in classic physique or even men's physique or anything.
No, you don't have to look like that, but you want to. The problem is Blaha wants to, but he can't. And I don't know why, because maybe he's got the wrong steroids. I don't know. He buys some cheap stuff. But anyways, if you want to look like them, then you're going to have to take steroids to look like them. Because when people say in the natural world, there's no such thing as bodybuilding and like that look that people get on steroids. You don't get that naturally. You can go to the gym and lift all the weights you want, and you're never gonna succeed. You'll look the way you look, okay? You understand me? But you're not going to look like somebody that took cosmetics to create a cosmetic look. It's never going to happen. Never. If that's something that you truly want, then that's what you should be doing. See what I'm trying to explain to you? But like I said, bodybuilding, real bodybuilding, is not based on I'm going to bodybuild and I'm going to look pretty. No, because why do you think people say aesthetic look? That's not bodybuilding. Oh, I'm trying to create an aesthetic look. That means you're trying to lower your body fat. It means you're trying to expose what's underneath so you look muscular, because you are trying to chase that fake look that the steroid people have. So how do natural people try to accomplish it? Well, number one, they try to lower their body fat way low, which is unhealthy. They try to get it down super low so that they can look like have that look. You see what I mean? Then the next step would be the muscle part. Well, they don't have the muscle, so what do? They increase the sarcoplasm. They blow it up eating these carbs. So they try to lower their body fat. They eat some complex carbs to try to blow it up without getting fat again. See what I mean? But they're not going to get that much because they'll start putting on fat if they just keep doing that. So they can only blow up so much.
You don't have to have their physique to look phenomenal.
But Blaha equates, as he says, aesthetic look. What did Blaha do? He lost, I don't know, 100 pounds of fat. You understand me? He lost over 100 pounds of fat. He was like weighing 300. That's what he said. I don't know. Of fat. He was fat, 300 pounds or something. He was fat. He lost all that fat. Well, a good majority of it. To me, he's still fat, but whatever. Man, he looks like an ogre.
Absolutely phenomenal to normal people. Okay, this is what people are forgetting when they get into these arguments. Okay, and you can't change.
He just looks so funny. Look at his chest, his waist, his arms, his shoulders. I don't know what it is. He just looks funny, and his legs look funny too. He just looks funny. I don't get it, but okay. I don't know. Maybe the steroids, that whatever he's using, maybe they're fake.
Genetics. Oh, you weren't born with 1 in a million genetics.
Or like I said, they're just really shitty steroids. They just don't change your physique enough, but helps you lift a heavy weight.
Okay, you might as well be crying because you weren't born to a multimillionaire family, right? The level of
I don't understand what's with the chains going up heavy, going down light. Everything going down is where muscles build. They don't build at the top up there, dude. I have news for you, Blaha.
upset that people have over that is literally the level of you getting upset because you didn't inherit $20 million. Okay, you weren't born into a wealthy family. Your dad didn't give you $1 million for your first startup, so you're gonna just throw a temper tantrum and quit and never try to achieve anything because of it. That's the same level of mindset. Oh no, you weren't born in the top 0.1% genetics, just like you weren't born into a family where your dad just tossed you $1 million or $2. That's literally the level of stupidity argument. Okay. So how does that prevent you from making progress? Every single person can gain muscle, you can gain strength, you can lose fat.
Yeah, you can. Every person can do that. You can lose fat, gain muscle, do a bunch of stuff. But you cannot look like a person on steroids. You understand me? Unless you take steroids. I'm sorry, man.
Let me be clear. Every single one of you can gain muscle, gain strength, and lose fat from where you are now.
I agree. Science tells you that. But it doesn't say anywhere in science that you're going to gain an aesthetic look doing that. It says you can gain muscle and strength. You understand me? A bunch of stuff. But it doesn't say anything about you're going to look aesthetic, like you're going to look like a person on steroids. Nowhere in science, in any of these reports of PubMed or NCBI, does it say that.
So what does any of that have to do with anything? And how does crying over it help? Like, you don't have a certain insertion. You don't have a certain size waist, whatever it happens to be. So what? You weren't gifted enough to be like John Hackett to squat 5.
Look, if you have a nice body, a nice looking body, okay, and and you expand the muscles, they get a little bit bigger, right? Okay, you have some low body fat, whatever. Yeah, you're gonna look pretty good, right? You're gonna look pretty good, but you're not gonna look like a person on steroids. I'm sorry.
100 pounds without even following a program yet. Just coming in and goofing off in the gym, training, being under 200 pounds. Okay. Oh no.
Yeah.
So does that mean you can't get strong? Does that mean you can't have a good physique? No. You can still do those things. So what?
If you don't deadlift like hacking who? Oh man. Whatever. Him and this lifting heavy weight off the floor.
And here's the problem.
What's the problem?
People who want these things, they listen to the genetic freaks.
Oh,
Why
really?
are you listening
Okay.
to them?
Okay. I am absolutely not a genetic freak. I was born normal. You understand me? But I remember when I built myself, people are like, "Oh, you're a genetic freak." Well, I'm not genetic freak. I say I like to use, that's why I put on my channel, I like to use the word genetic beast, but not genetic freak, because that's a lie. You can be a genetic beast, like you call yourself genetic beast, right? That's just a label. Like that's just, some, like a nickname. But I'm not gonna call myself a genetic freak, bro. You understand me? That's no.
You even comparing yourself to them? Why are you listening to what they're doing? Okay, you have these guys who, a lot of them are fake natties on top of, they're using plenty of gear. They're genetically gifted
There you go. He just admitted it. They're fake natties.
in these areas. What they did for themselves isn't going to work. If they coach a bunch of people, fine. But when you have a genetically gifted person who gives advice, who only trains himself, he hasn't coached 50 people, hasn't coached 100 people, hasn't coached 200 people.
Man, I have running clients still. You know that from my old channel, bro. I have running clients. I'm still in contact with them to this day. And when I did some other videos on my new channel, I got a few more. Now, as far as bodybuilding clients, like real clients, like they pay me money, advice, this, that, something. I don't have any, but I have people that approach me. I can tell you that. Two of them, I've posted their videos. Like on my channel, I did some, Q&A stuff on it. But I've had other people send me they send me videos of themselves posing. They said it's because I'm doing eccentric exercise, yada yada. And I don't post everything because I really like to I like people to have their privacy. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I think people would like to see what's the results, what are they getting, how are they doing this, what are they doing. It's interesting to know for sure, definitely. You know what I mean? I got nothing against anybody out there doing what they're doing. You do what is best for you. That's what I say. Here's the old saying: do what is best for you. Me, I do what is best for me. You understand me? I do what's best for me. Now, me sharing information on my channel, it's always been there. It's there. You just never realized it. So I just put it out there, to kind of wake up people. But I know that the truth doesn't sell. Like, people are not interested in the truth. They are busy. They're busy with fakeness. They want to do fake stuff, bro. They don't understand bodybuilding because it's been so perverted at this point by the fitness industry that people think it's some guy on a stage on drugs. That's crazy. They have it absolutely wrong. Wrong, absolutely. Bodybuilding is to build super strength and muscle fibers. That's it. But it's not a sport. It's not powerlifting. That's why there's no such thing as bodybuilding sport. Like, there's no such thing, because how could it be a sport if it's based on eccentric exercise where you're building muscles, they damage, and then it comes with all these bad effects. When you micro damage muscles, it comes with all these bad effects. So how could it be a sport? What's the sport? What would the sport be about? Oh, I hear we have a sport, it's called bodybuilding. How to damage your muscles eccentrically with heavy loads. Is that the sport? That wouldn't make any sense. You see what I'm trying to explain to you? Powerlifting itself is a sport, so they call it a strength sport. Why? Because it's still based on lifting a weight. You're just lifting it in the opposite direction. You're going concentrically. That's all. You're lifting something heavy concentrically. I got nothing against powerlifting. Let them do what they want to do. So they took the big four out of bodybuilding and they made it into just a concentric lift. Okay, and so what? And they call it strength. Okay. It's that specific sport and it's that strength. But that's not based on the principles of bodybuilding, because bodybuilding is just to make you big and strong and that's it. It's a carryover to every sport. But powerlifting is not a carryover to every sport because it's lax. It doesn't build bodies big and strong. What it does is it makes you better at lifting concentrically heavy. That's all it does. See what I mean?
His advice shouldn't be worth listening to. You shouldn't even be listening to it.
Yeah, you should. Yeah.
Because it's probably not useful to you.
Oh, okay. Well, what if they use real science and they prove what they say? Should you be listening to that person? I don't know. Should you? Should you? See, Blaha doesn't bring out anything to prove what he says. He just yammers on and on and on about God knows what in his videos.
Particularly if they've got their own coach.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Ooh. I mean, at least someone like Dorian, you can look at it and say, okay.
You know what? Like when I started doing more like muscle damage, the way back in '90s, when I started doing like this muscle damage stuff, whatever, there I had friends. Some of them took drugs, and I trained them. I trained them to build more myofibrillars. I trained them in the gym. I showed them, this is what you need to do. You need to do this. It's based on eccentric exercise, yada yada yada. You get this muscle damage, you're gonna build more myofibrillars. They did. They even some of them took steroids. They got massively big, bro, and jacked. You know that? And they always ask me, what buffet are you going to? And then they would come down with me and eat together at the buffet, and we would laugh. And we kept telling the lady to bring more melons. Then she would leave the whole pitcher of water on the table. I just go, listen, forget about giving me a glass. Just give each of us a pitcher. We'll just drink out of the pitcher. You know what I mean? And we'd sit there for hours. We'd eat the little chicken wings and legs and stuff. We'd eat like bowls of that, and then shrimps, and then we'd eat all this beef and like just a whole bunch of stuff. It was crazy. The amount of food that we ate was nuts.
Dorian coached himself. He never had a coach. He never had a nutritionist. That guy won all those Mr. Olympias on his own. Okay, at least there's that. You know, just saying, guys.
Yeah, see, when I'm at the buffet now, not like at the time when I was building myself back in the '90s, I don't eat those chicken wings anymore. I just eat quality stuff. It's either seafood or beef. That's it. You know what I mean? I'm not eating these chicken wings as I could. They have them in the buffet. They have a bunch of stuff there like spare ribs, and they have some other meat like spare ribs and I don't know, pork and stuff. And they have these chicken wings and things and all. I could eat those. They're a little greasy though, you know.
But you know, they want to do these things, and then they compare themselves to these people. Why don't you instead listen to people who coach others, people who have made progress from horrible genetics, and go, you know what, maybe that's where I should get the advice.
They made progress from absolutely bad genetics. Well, I haven't seen that happen with you, Blaha. Oh, you mean they made progress out of bad genetics? Oh, you mean they took steroids? Yeah, yeah, I've seen those guys like Hussein Fart and all the rest of these people. You know, you understand me? And then they go take something. They're horrendously skinny, like weird, bad genetics. Who's the other guy? I forget his name. The tall guy from that stupid channel. He's another one too.
Have the potential and still got good results, or they coach tons of other people who get great.
Joe Fazier, that's another one. And oh man, there's so many others. Christ.
Results. There's your answer. There's your source of advice. But stop standing around worrying because you don't have a certain set of gifts. It's not going to help you reach your goals, and it doesn't matter. I mean, and I do mean that comparison. So because you see someone else who they got daddy money to get them started in life, are you going to stand there and cry about it? You're going to say, well, if I didn't start with daddy money, I'll never achieve anything. I guess I'm just going to be a bum and live under a bridge. That's the same level of mentality. Hell no, you get out there and you hustle, right? Okay, you came from nothing. So let's take it to people who understand this in financial world, right? So all of you out there, let's say you came from very humble beginnings. Maybe you come from a single mother household where your mother was on welfare.
Okay.
Ooh. What are you going to do to make it? You just going to give up?
Yeah, see, when I met the buffet now, not like at the time when I was building myself back in the '90s, I don't eat those chicken wings anymore. I just eat quality stuff. It's either seafood or beef. You know what I mean? I'm not eating these chicken wings as I could. They
Or are you going to get out and hustle and make some money and find a way to do business?
Okay.
Okay? No, you're going to put in some work. Even if you want to get anywhere, you kind of put in some work. But crying about the fact that you came from that background.
Yeah, you'll put in the work, but you're gonna fail. Takes a while to figure out how things really operate. See what I mean? Takes a while.
And you didn't get daddy money is not going to get you results. It's going to get you results. Come and put the work in and say, okay, maybe I don't have this potential over here, but let's find out where I can get. Get in and put in the work. Gain some muscle.
Daddy money, yeah.
Quit doing stupid stuff too. Or the genetically gifted person does 50-pound bulks. Well, stop doing that. Just lean bulk, lean gain. The data says it works. We know it works. Come in, start slowly gaining muscle, improve your body composition, just get stronger. Focus on your big lifts, get strong on your big.
I love this one. Just get stronger. If you want to get strong, then you want to take up bodybuilding. But if you want to get good at lifting a heavy weight concentrically, then do powerlifting. But powerlifting will not make you look like a bodybuilder, and it will not build muscle on your body. Now, I'm not saying that there won't be something maybe with the deadlift. If you keep going heavier and heavier, it's kind of pulling down, but you're not doing enough anyways to get any of that. Well, they'll equate in science. They'll say there's some fiber splitting there. Yeah, there's some, but the problem is with powerlifters, they come back and they keep working through that, and so these fibers, they start to fork. They get messed up. So, yeah, they even messed that up.
So you get stronger, fill in the gaps with isolation, train smart, train hard, pay attention to your body.
Yeah, in eccentric exercise, you get bigger, you get stronger. Yeah.
Eat good. Okay, you're not as genetically gifted. Well, maybe you need to eat a little bit better. Maybe instead of, how many guys out there, they blame their genetics and you look, it's like, do you eat cereal with sugar in it in the morning for breakfast? I don't want to hear crap about you.
Well, just the majority of the food that they're eating is all garbage anyways. Processed garbage, fake food.
Genetics, and you treat your body like a garbage dumpster. Oh, you go out and drink on Friday night. Okay? You need to quit crying about your genetics, and you need to start crying about your trash dumpster lifestyle. Your trash dumpster garbage lifestyle. Oh no, you're not amazingly gifted. You have to actually eat clean and not poison your body.
Yes.
Well, there's a start.
Okay.
I mean, I see guys who blame their genetics, and their lifestyle is horrific. They sleep 6 hours a night. They go drinking on Friday night. And they eat cereal and Pop-Tarts or whatever for breakfast.
Sounds like Blaha's basket, his food basket from the store, bro.
Good Lord.
Jesus.
Yeah, you're going to have to be genetically
And tofu. Don't forget that tofu, Blaha.
gifted to make gains. The only people making gains in that environment are the genetic freaks. So
No, you'll make gains even if you are eating a lot of that fake food, because I ate a lot of just everything, man. I ate a lot of everything at the time when I built myself up because I didn't know any better. I just knew I needed to eat a lot. You understand me? I just kept eating like crazy because I had this damage and I wanted to build my body as efficiently, as fast as possible and efficiently. And I knew I had to eat a lot to build those muscles. To build a myofibrillar, this extracellular matrix, man, you're going to have to eat a lot, believe it or not. If you really want to build some myofibrillars, you definitely have to eat a lot. Like you have to put in the work and eating the rest of the week. So the rest of the week, you should be eating and growing. You know what I mean? Before you come back and hit it again.
clean your garbage lifestyle up. Get your training dialed in. Quit doing stupid stuff in the gym. Train correctly and make some gains. All right, guys, so that's really all I have to say on that today.
People put very little effort into their exercises. When I showed this guy, I go, look how heavy you could go on shoulders. Look at these people. They go like this. They fly it isometrically, concentrically. I go, look, they go like this. They squeeze like this. They pull their arms, squeeze. And then he looked at me and says, yeah, they do that, yeah. And I go, look how much you can actually lift all those weights there. I go, look how much you can lift for your shoulder if you just lift your shoulder up. It's not an arm exercise. I go, it's a shoulder exercise. But people think it's an arm exercise. They're flying their arms up and down in the air. The weights are all the way out there at the end of their arms. they can't fathom, they can't visualize that it's just the shoulder. It's isolated. You just have to move your shoulder. It's not about moving your arm, it's about moving your shoulder up and down, and it rotates. Your shoulder rotates, really. Most of the time you get your shoulders to do the work. Even the rear and front delts, your shoulder will do it for you because it'll move. It can move around. It can move from side to side, around in a circle, yada yada yada. You get the idea. Your arms, man, they don't need to be ass cheek squeezed at the top, or your triceps or anything like that. And as far as your lats, man, Christ, there is other ways to actually do your lats. You can the dip bar where you're doing dips. Did you know that you could put your arms in a position like, like a chicken? You know how you put your thumbs under your armpits, like under your chest area or armpit, close to your armpit. You put your thumbs like, underneath like a chicken, and you flap. Well, you can literally like flap, like you put your arms across this bar, the dip bar, and you can do your lats like that, up and down. People don't even realize that. Even the calf machine, you can put your head underneath it and just use your traps to push upward and let it ride down, stretching it. Yeah. So you can improvise in gyms. The better you get at lifting, the more you should try and improvise with other machines and figure out how to use them to your benefit. They have this machine where people do pull-ups. There's a flat thing there with a weight on the side, so it's weighted. There's a pull-up machine with this square weight thing. Well, you could use that. You can do it from reverse. Your triceps, it'll stretch the front head of your shoulders and your triceps. You can push down and let it ride up. When it's riding up, it'll stretch the shoulder and the tricep at the same time, doing it from behind. So there's all kinds. Like I said, you can improvise with so many things, man. It's crazy in the gym. You can figure out how to improvise these things to improvise. Yeah.
I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals.
Yes, very informative. I'll talk to you next time, friends. See you in the next one. Ciao. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Helps with the algorithm.